Okay, Abhishek. So let's start your interview with your introduction first.
Yes, sir. Sir, first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And my name is Abhishek. Currently, I study in Faridabad, Sector 56. And I did my graduation in commerce from Kalinga University. And I have 2 years experience of TDS Group Sector 44 as an accounts payable executive. And my job responsibilities are validate and verification of invoices, two-way match and three-way match of invoices, TDS calculation on section 194C, 194J, 194I. I ensured that all entry included as per GST. I am exposure of Excel and sir, I am also taking care of bank reconciliation, vendor reconciliation, and resolving the vendor queries. Apart from that, my family background is concerned that my father is working in a private sector. My mother is a housewife, and I have 2 sisters, and I am the elder one. Punctuality and always willing to learn new things, and my decision-making ability, and are some of the traits. That's all about me, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So what is vendor?
Uh, Sir, vendor is like a buyer uh, uh, from from which a company buy products and services, goods and services.
So it's a buyer or seller.
Sir, it's a seller, sir. Sorry, sir, it's a seller.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is vendor reconciliation?
Sir, the vendor reconciliation is matching the closing balance of vendor statement provided by vendor to the closing balance of a SAP vendor ledger. And if we find any mismatch, then we need to highlight the cell.
Okay. And what is bank reconciliation?
Sir, bank reconciliation is the matching the closing balance of bank statement with the closing balance of bank ledger.
Okay. And what is our next step if we find any variance in bank reconciliation?
Sir, I don't know about bank reconciliation more than I know about only vendor reconciliation, sir.
But you mentioned in your introduction that you do the bank reconciliation as well.
Sir, sorry, sir. I think this is my mistake, sir.
Okay. So you are not performing bank reconciliation, right?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you are not performing it, please do not mention it in your, introduction, because it might
Okay,
create
sir.
a negative impact. Because like I asked you what is the bank reconciliation, interviewer might ask you these questions, and if you're not able to
Okay,
answer,
sir.
he'll think like you are lying.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So do you know what is P2P?
Yes, sir. Sir, P2P means a procedure to pay, and accounts payable is also a part of P2P. P2P cycle start with purchase requisition by any of the department to purchase department. Then we have got quotation from vendors, and after finalizing the vendor, we receive the material. And just when the storekeeper receives the material, he passes an accounting entries is a material account debit to GRN account. After that, the invoice has been reached to us. After checking tolerance limit, 2 ms 3 ms and all the commercial parameters, we process the invoice via T-code Myro and passes the accounting entries GR account debit to vendor account. Then we release the vendor payment as per payment terms and report it to the management.
Okay, so you said the full form of P2P is
Procedure to pay, sir.
it's procure to pay, not
Yeah, procure
procedure
to
to.
pay, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So please keep that in mind. Like if you're,
Okay, sir.
saying procedure to pay, so it is not the right full form of
Okay, sir.
P2P.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So do you know what is two-way matching?
Yes, sir. I know. Two-way matching means the purchase order should be matched with invoice.
Okay. And what is three-way matching then?
Sir, in three-way match, the PO should be matched with invoice, include as a GR report.
Okay. So do
Yes,
you know
sir.
what is accrual?
Yes, sir. Accrual is the expense in which we have taken the service, but the bill against the shared service has not been paid, which is due.
What is the difference between revenue and income?
Sir, revenue means the revenue during a whole financial year, but income means, sir, we earn during the whole financial year after our expenditures, after our expenses, sir.
So we can say revenue minus expenses is our
Yes, sir. We can.
income.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is chart of account?
What, sir?
Charts of account.
Sir, I don't know about it.
No worries. So, do you have any experience of working in Excel?
Yes, sir, I have, sir.
So, how much would you rate yourself in Excel out of 10?
Sir, I would rate myself, sir, 6 to 6.5, sir. But because Excel is very wide to cover it.
Okay.
Sir,
Would you like to mention few of the things you work on Excel?
Sir, I pivot table, some if, VLOOKUP. Yes, sir. I am working on it, sir, currently.
Okay. What is the importance of P2P process?
Sorry, sir. I don't know about it, sir.
Okay. What is the benefit of P2P process?
Sir, it's the same, sir.
Yeah. So, would you like to try? No?
P2P, sir. Actually, I understand P2P process, sir. But
Mhm.
I don't know, sir. What is the benefit? I'm not going so deep, sir, in that.
Okay. What is a invoice?
Sir, invoice is a non-negotiable commercial instrument issued by seller to buyer. An invoice contains invoice number, invoice date, and name and address of both the parties, GST number of both the parties, and tax rate, taxable amount, total value. And the last and most important, sir, invoice should be signed by authorized person.
Okay. And what is GRN?
Sir, GRN, normally it is a written acknowledgement that confirms that goods has been received, and it full forms is GRN, goods receipt note.
Okay. So, do you work for an Indian client or a overseas client?
No, sir, only domestic clients, sir.
Okay. Do you mind going through the P2P cycle?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to explain me the P2P cycle?
Sir, P2P cycle start with purchase requisition. Firstly, any of the departments understand his needs, and then they creates a purchase order and sends it to purchase department regarding the quantity within a time frame. Then the purchase department, then the company gets a quotation from vendor. After finalizing the vendor, they receive material, and at the time of receiving material, the storekeeper passes the accounting entries by Amigo, and he passes the entry inventory account debit to GR account. After that, the invoice has been reached to us, and we check a tolerance limit of invoice, 2MS, 3MS, and all the commercial parameters like invoice number, invoice date, amount, duration, etc., and process the invoice by T-code Miro, and pass the accounting entries, GRN account debit to vendor account.
Okay.
And